Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the social casino track. We have doubled in size since yesterday because there were so many people that were spilling out the door, and it was a sweatbox in here, so it's exciting to see we've got more room. And I think you're going to have a really great day today. We have, I think, 18 different speakers today. They're each going to be speaking for about 30 seconds, so we're going to try to cram everybody in. A couple of interesting things, I think, also just kind of thinking about what we've heard yesterday and what we're going to be talking about today. The landscape of social casino in relationship to real money gambling. Just to give you some perspective, I think Melissa Blau touched on this yesterday a little bit. Last year, 2012, U.S. land-based gross gaming revenues, $36 billion. And last year, social casino revenues, $698 million. So that's about 1% of the land-based revenues. So just to give some perspective, how much attention is being paid to this space, which represents still a very small part of the industry. But I think what will be interesting to see is what's going to happen as we move into real money gaming, online gaming with New Jersey and Delaware, and now Nevada running poker next year. So we'll have some real numbers to look at, and I think we'll see the online gambling revenue really go up. Let's see. Also, we have a little breakfast here for you, courtesy of the guys at Playnomics, and true Vegas tradition of provided alcohol before noon. So unfortunately there's no cigarettes to really match the casino atmosphere, but enjoy the bloodies. So first up we have Rob Glaser from RealNetworks is going to talk to you. Rob has an amazing career. I probably don't have to give him an introduction. He's been in the business for 30 years, and I think he started when he was around 5, which is actually probably early for most people these days. His company created the RealNetwork player, which I'm sure we've all used. They also run Gamehouse Studios, which has about 250 employees, and their Gamehouse.com publishing portal attracts over 15 million monthly unique visitors. They also have Gamehouse Slots and Gamehouse Casino, which are very popular games on Facebook. The company is making a big investment and a big move into casino gaming. And Rob is here today to talk to you about the opportunity there that he sees for the company and possibly some of the opportunities he sees for all of you for working with Gamehouse. So without further ado, Rob.
Thanks a lot. Good morning, everyone. Great to see everyone. I think the Bloody Mary bar will be open all session, so I'll be able to gauge the speech based on how fast and voluminously people are drinking. That should be kind of fun. So we want to talk about 4 or 5 different aspects of this issue of social casino gaming. First, just want to do a sort of a broad look at the landscape from our perspective, and got some data that's additional to the data that you just heard about social casino gaming, looking at it from a global perspective, future perspective. We're quite bullish on the category, as you'll soon see. Then I want to talk a little bit about how to innovate and our perspective on innovation, because we think there's multiple ways to innovate that can help drive their business forward. Then I want to talk about how we are embracing innovation, specifically some announcements that we're making literally here. The news is breaking as I talk. And then want to loop back and connect it up with our history, how we got into social casino games, which is through our involvement in casual games, and which is an ongoing focus for us as well. I want to touch on that a little bit. So with that as our predicate. So we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of social casino games, because there is a lot of good and some bad and frankly some ugly. First, let's start with the good. So we talked about the market. In the U.S., about 35 million people a month play social casino games. That's a very big number when you think that 5 years ago that number would have rounded to 0. So in a very short period of time, it's gone from something that was not a mainstream phenomenon, maybe people played on downloadable CD-ROM games a little bit, to 35 million people a month playing. On a worldwide basis, the estimates that we believe show it's about 170 million people. So even quite a big number, more than 4 times, almost 5 times on a global basis in terms of what the market opportunity is. Looking at it from a growth standpoint, those 170 million people today generate, on a worldwide basis, you heard some U.S. numbers, about 1.6 billion is the best number we see for 2012. So a little less than half of that in the U.S., the rest worldwide. And the estimates that we've seen, this comes from a couple different sources, estimate that it's going to grow to about 2.6 billion. Again, this is just social casino gaming, doesn't count real money gaming, and go from about 170 million players to about 250 million players. Most of that growth is mobile. According to the folks at App Annie, mobile social gaming revenue has grown about 50% just over this time now 6 months ago. So just in the last 6 months, they believe that mobile social casino gaming is growth. So mobile is the growth driver, but when you have an overall industry that's growing, basically increasing by over 50% in users and more than 50% in revenue on a worldwide basis over the next 3 years, clearly it's not just mobile counteracting shrinkage in PC. We think PC and Facebook will be stable, and mobile will be a growth engine, but the aggregate will be very significant growth. So we really believe in the category on both Facebook and on mobile. So there's a lot more good as well, because obviously when you have a business that's gone from nothing to $1.5 billion in revenue, there's some winners. Well, I would identify that there have been 2 kinds of winners in this space. The first kind are people that were first movers, and hats off to them. People like Double Down and Slotomania and slots, and Zynga and poker. Excellent job, first mover, built some products, got the word out there, and have benefited from that. The second category of winners are people that were already traditional players in real-world IP. The folks at IGT, the leading manufacturer of slot machines, bought Double Down and have since continued that growth by adding real-world slot machine IP into that. The folks at WMS and the High Five have also benefited from their traditional slot machine assets that they brought to bear in social casino businesses. So those are 2 strategies that have worked. So I'd call that the good. Well, so here's the bad. The bad is that it's a very crowded market. Over 150 games on Facebook, when you count all the mobile platforms, we estimate that there are at least 500 different social casino apps that have been either on Facebook or on Android, on iOS. That's a lot of apps, and that's a lot of noise in the market, and it means there can't be 500 winners or even 150 winners. It's also quite fragmented. According to market estimates, the top 10 are less than half of the revenue. So there are some winners, but it's quite a distribution curve down. Some more bad news is that the sector is not differentiated. The flip side of the fact that we've gone from no users to 170 million users in like 5 years is how we did it. We did it by picking games that many, many people knew, that hundreds of millions of people already knew how to play. So the good news is you get people involved because they know how to play the game. The bad news is it kind of makes differentiation tricky. After all, slots is slots, poker is poker, bingo is bingo, blackjack is blackjack. So the flip side of the fact that the business grew so fast is that differentiation by gameplay, which is one of the things that those of us in the game industry love trying to do, it's hard to do. Not impossible, but hard to do. Second differentiation is that, the second issue, the flip side of it, is that people then kind of get into a spin cycle, which is, okay, I got a new Wizzy machine that's yellow, I got a new Wizzy machine that's green and there's hearts in it. So people keep putting out new content to attract users, but at the end of the day, absent innovation, it kind of just becomes more and more of the same. And if you go too far in that kind of cycle, there's a high risk that you just end up basically fatiguing consumers. And that growth that we showed there, it might cap out there, it might not even hit that. If we don't continue to do things to excite and attract users, leveraging the fact that there's tremendous knowledge and familiarity in the space, but also being willing, frankly having the cojones, to go back to Mr. Eastwood, to try to innovate and try new things. So here's some more ugly, which is on the question of real money gaming. So if you're not one of the major players, most people will say, okay, the thing we're going to run to is real money gaming. The numbers that you just heard are very enticing. $35 billion in real money gaming revenue. As that goes online, it should be a growth engine, et cetera. Well, our analysis was that this was actually going to be one of these, I wouldn't quite call it a chimera, but it was going to be one of these things that was going to be harder to achieve in practice than in theory, because it involved politics and the public policy process, right? So basically, today in the U.S., real money gaming is not allowed in very many places. And you've just heard about Delaware, Nevada, and New Jersey. Okay, So, but the process of change is very slow because literally 50 states, as well as the federal government, have to make decisions, state-by-state decisions. And you've got all kinds of stakeholders that have very strong opinions on these topics. You've got the traditional land-based companies. You've got the Native American reservations. You've got the riverboat folks. And then you have all the people that have philosophical views and ideas about gambling and gaming, some of which are positive, some of which are negative. So you've got this swirl of things around politics. And so our analysis was that change was going to happen very slowly. So our view is, great, okay, so there's, if you're a US-based company, as we are and as many of the folks who are, being in a business where you can't really be in the core business in most of your main market didn't seem like a good idea. So last week, when Zynga announced that they were pulling out or pulling back from real money gaming in the US, we were actually not surprised. That seemed very rational to us, and it's consistent with our view that the rate of change in this was going to be very slow. Now, we do see ways to innovate going forward, so I don't want to paint a full dark picture. In fact, we'll identify a few of them that are better, we think, than just focusing on real money gaming. Some are based on technological innovation, doing things that haven't been done before in technology. I love technology. I'm not going to talk about that a lot today. The second is trying to leverage distinctive brands. I mentioned that games IP has been used a lot and is compelling. And then the third is to try to innovate in gameplay and excitement. And that's kind of where we're focusing. We're focusing our announcements today a little bit on the second, but primarily on the third. Now, basically, people play social casino games for fun and excitement, right? That's the fun of succeeding in a game, right? Getting a bingo, or getting a big slots win, or getting a raw flush. You know, that kind of success is a very exciting thing. And they also have the excitement associated with having a chance to win, which is why virtual currency business have gotten up to $1.5 billion in revenue in just 5 years. But that chance to win, obviously, it's been focused on mostly virtual winning and primarily virtual winning. So we thought, well, are there ways to capture that excitement of winning something that's more exciting, more compelling, by doing it in a way that can be rolled out broadly in the United States? We came up with the answer, yes. So that's what we're announcing today. We're announcing Gamehouse Casino Plus, which is a very exciting innovation. It's the first social casino game in the US that gives players a chance to win what we call life-changing, real cash prizes through a seamless connection with a sweepstakes promotion. Now, you're all familiar with sweepstakes. Everyone goes to McDonald's and gets them McDonald's Monopoly cards. You know, you've heard of the Publishers Clearinghouse promotions. So sweepstakes is a well-known thing, as American as apple pie and the Big Mac. But nobody had really connected it before in a big way with a social casino game, and that's what we're doing here. So we announced something we call the Golden Dream Sweepstakes, where starting August 1st, every month, one lucky winner will win $100,000. So here's basically how it works. In our game, people are playing the game, they collect golden tickets. When they get big wins, they get a golden ticket. When you get 3 golden tickets, you enter the Golden Dream Sweepstakes. And there's a drawing where one winner wins $100,000. Now, as you see on this small print, which some of you can't read in the back, so I'll read it for you, this is one of those sweepstakes that has the standard sweepstakes rules, no purchase necessary. So you can register online and for the sweepstakes, putting all the information in without actually playing our games. Now, we hope everyone plays the games, and we know that most people will, but this kind of alternative is part of what makes it a valid sweepstakes. So we offer that and fully support that. Now, we're launching tomorrow, August 1st, on Facebook. So we're literally, midnight tonight Eastern time, so 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 hours from now, we'll be live in 31 states and the District of Columbia. California is one of the states, so anybody who's here as of midnight, 9 p.m. tonight, can try the game. We've actually been doing a trial of it for the last month in the state of Illinois, very quietly. None of you heard about it. Anybody here live in Illinois by chance? Well, did anybody happen to try the Golden Dreams Gamehouse Casino and happen to stumble into it? Because we didn't promote it heavily. It was just as we were playing the game, we tried it, and we were super happy with the experience. People played more. They came back and played more. They told more of their friends. So we're very happy with the learnings from the 1-month trial we did in Illinois. And it says to us that the rollout of the Golden Dream Sweepstakes and Gamehouse Casino Plus, we're looking forward to the results nationally. Because again, with about 70% of our U.S. users will be able to play. And for the people that aren't in those territories, outside the U.S. and in the other 19 states, we have a virtual coin drawing for 1 billion virtual coins. So here, I'm going to give you a quick video demo in the interest of time, and I'll narrate it through, so you just basically see the game mechanic. So here, what comes up here on the screen, and our video's been a little slow. I don't know, we must be using the wrong video format. But basically, the game comes up. It looks like an enhanced version of Gamehouse Casino. You see the jackpot right in the middle. I'll show you a demo on slots. So basically, you're playing slots, and you're spinning, and you get a win. And in this case, you see the ticket spin out the bottom, and you get a golden ticket win. In this case, the person already had 2 golden tickets, so they're given a chance to enter the sweepstakes. So now, you basically enter the sweepstakes and given a chance to earn $100,000. We won't fill out, show here. The next thing you have to do is fill out a form that actually describes, includes your information so we can verify that you're of age, your legal age, and that you're a resident of the state you're in. So you have to fill that out. If you happen to be playing in California, but you live in a different state that's not one in the program, for instance, Washington State's not one of our launch states at the beginning, you would then be told, hey, in Washington State, you're eligible for the virtual currency sweepstakes. But the vast majority of the time when people are playing in the state that they're resident in, they'll just get into the sweepstakes. So now we spent about a year working on this, understanding consumer behavior, doing extensive legal diligence, built a platform with state-by-state geofencing and tight integration with a reprise system that does all the back-end verification and that does all the processing. And so we're very confident on the technical rigor of what we've done. We did the one-state test to verify the system worked reliably, et cetera. And so based on the test in Illinois, we're rolling it out today. And we think this kind of innovation is an example that will make a difference in the free-to-play social casino space. So if that was all we were announcing today, we'd be proud to be here. But as, I'm sorry, I skipped one thing. We also want to work with the industry here, and this is an important point, one of the reasons we're announcing it here. We see tremendous opportunity to partner with the industry in at least a few different ways. One, people that have IP that they want to integrate in Gamehouse Casino Plus. Come talk to us. Ken Murphy's here. Ken, stand up and wave. Ken@gamehouse.com, easy email address to remember. And that's if you have IP or you're interested in working with us on marketing and promotion. So we plan to work extensively with the industry to leverage what we built and put all kinds of partnerships in place, all kinds of interesting prizes. We're starting out with a $100,000 cash prize a month, but you can imagine all kinds of different things. If someone's coming out with a new car they want to promote, we're happy to give them promotional lift in a way that benefits both them and people that would win the sweepstakes. And so there's lots of opportunities for innovation there, and also people have IP and don't have the scale to do what we've done here. Well, I was going to say, if this was all we were doing, I would be proud to be here and we'd have a fine speech and we wouldn't be done on time. But we do have one more thing I want to quickly talk about that we're super excited about, and that's an announcement that we are making today that we're announcing that Real has joined forces with a great games brand called Slingo. So the Slingo team has joined Real, just did this fairly recently, and the Slingo team is now part of a Gamehouse studio integrated together. Many of you know what Slingo is, but in case you don't know, Slingo is this really cool game that combines slots and bingo in a very interesting way. So when I talk about gameplay innovation, it takes 2 games people know, slots and bingo, and it puts them together. And that's it's been a very successful game. Currently, it has 4.5 million monthly active users on Facebook. Last year, when the publisher was really pushing it very deeply, it got to over 50 million nows. So there was a period where it was actually the most popular game, not just casino game, but game of any genre on Facebook. It's still super popular, and we have, as part of this relationship, the ability to bring it across all platforms, and which we're going to do. So we're going to put it on mobile, obviously going to push it forward on Facebook, and we're super excited about the integration of it. So here is me with the founder and the creator of Slingo, an 84-year-old gentleman named Sal Fasiglia, who's a great guy. And Sal is very shy, you've probably never heard of him, but I got Sal to talk on camera about how he created Slingo, which I think is super cool. And to me, it's inspiring for a guy who when he was in his late 60s, early 70s when he created it, because Slingo's been around since the mid-late 90s. I want to have him chat about how he came about the idea of Slingo.
It all began when I wanted to do a game show and I didn't know how to do a game show or what to do.
Sure.
So I asked myself, what do people like? And I came up with, they like bingo and they like slot machines. And I said to myself, well, how do you marry the two? I put it all together and I played the game in my mind many, many times. And it seemed to play, it seemed to work, but I needed a slot machine
Did you talk about a slot machine sitting around in the basement?
No. So I started researching slot machines. And then I found that I would need an old slot machine because years ago they did have some 5-reel slot machines. So I found an antique slot machine dealer in South Jersey. Within 2 weeks, he had the slot machine in my basement. He took out the part that you gamble with because you can't have it in the house.
So that's Sal, who's a genuine guy. We met in Hackensack, New Jersey last week, and Sal is the father of Slingo, and you've now had a chance to meet him. So one of the things we're doing that we're very excited about is we're starting the process of integration. In fact, one of the things we're announcing today is that we've added a Slingo slot machine to Gamehouse Casino Plus as part of its launch. And here's a quick look at it. So, standard slot machine, but has the Slingo characters, Slingo look and feel. And in this case, what's good fortune, it won a golden ticket, so it can enter the Golden Ring sweepstakes. How awesome is that? So, now, we're going to switch gears and talk a minute about social casino gaming and casual gaming, so our last topic. We got involved in social casino gaming through our involvement in casual gaming. In fact, we still love and believe in it. We have our own brands like Collapse and Delicious, Sally's Salon, and all those games, and we partner with over 300 independent developers. We have a global network of over 13 million unique visitors a month, Gamehouse brand in the US, Xylon brand in Europe, and we still are very interested in working with partners. In fact, we have 2 initiatives, and as we say, with these initiatives, we can help you make more money. We've made over $175 million over the years for our development partners, and we'd like to make you even more in the future. The standard thing we've done is PC and app publishing, which we've done before and we'll keep doing. And we have a new initiative, which you can go see in our booth over here on booth P9, which we call the Gamehouse Promotion Network, which is an ad network technology that's free to use, free to embed in your games, that we think should be in the consideration set as you think about different ways to monetize your games. And we want to work closely with you on that. So go over, look at booth P9. You'll see the team over there, and hopefully we can do a lot of business together in the casual part of the business as well. Well, so to wrap up and keep us more or less on schedule today, we think social casino business is a big market, it's an exciting market, but it's a crowded market. Gamehouse Casino Plus with the Golden Ring Sweepstakes, which we're just announcing here, and hopefully you'll read a lot about and get a chance to try it tonight in 12 hours and tell your friends about it. It's a great example of how to innovate by delivering excitement, the excitement of having the chance to win real cash, doing that all across the U.S. For the first time at any significant scale. Slingo, which is another great example of innovation, of how brand and gameplay innovation come together. It's a new game that combines different sorts of games, and I would encourage people to try that and not just rest on the laurels of the existing tried and true game formats. And as I just said, Real is committed to social casino games, which is the primary focus of the speech, given the track we're on. We're also committed to the casual games business broadly, and we look forward to working with the rest of the industry to drive growth forward. Thank you all very much.